The Long Bridge, a book by Nancy Kopulis, was written primarily to preserve some of the heritage of Nova Scotia's Annapolis County. Recently, our Heidi Petracek had a chance to visit with the author.
My name is Nancy Kopulis, and I am at Grace Haven in Bridgetown, which is a rest home. And I came from a small village in Tupperville, and that is the locale of my book. I was approached by Jason Bishop because he was doing a project for school, and he wanted to know about what it was like when I went to school, because I was considerably older than he. I found out in our conversation that he didn't know about the trains and the boats on the river and the way we farmed back in 1929. So I thought it would be a shame to let all this die, and I started a little story. My friend Suzanne, to whom I dedicated the book, she read it because she was one of my close friends, and she said, "Look, this has to be printed." And I said, "Oh, people would make fun of me if I put that out." And she said, "No." So I said, "Okay, if you want it, you take it, I'll give you the rights to the book." So she took it and got the first few copies done. And it went over very well locally, but we didn't have the money or the expertise to be able to go ahead with it. So then Harvey took it over, and he's done such a fabulous job of advertising. And I'm so happy, because all I want really is that people like the book. I write longhand, and I can't concentrate when I'm using a typewriter. So I do a lot of thinking. I spend a lot of time just sitting and putting things together before I write them down. My writing comes all from my heart. And my mother used to take Eaton's brown paper and sew it together and make me little books, and I would write when my writing would be about this big. And that's how I started, and I kept writing. And then as soon as I grew up and got away at work, I didn't have time, so I stopped writing. And this was the first book that I've done in the last, 25, 35 years. I didn't want to make it like a historic novel, so I made it into a love story. And some of it is true, and some of it is false. But I didn't expect to write a sequel to it when I wrote the book. I included in all the writing, over a period of maybe 3 or 4 years, to show what the roads were like back then, and the storms that washed out the culverts, and the gales that ruined the apple crops. In one of the scenes in the book, I did go back into my father's orchard, and I listened to the apples falling on the ground, and I was just sickened to think of all the fruit that would be destroyed. And so I just wanted to put all that into writing. Truth about the Long Bridge is where my father and mother took me across the Long Bridge at Granville Ferry when I was about 4 years old. I saw the little round hole at the end of the bridge because it was a long bridge. And I was afraid, and my mother told me not to be afraid, that when we got there the hole would be the same size as we were now. So I used that as a theme through my book, because Katie, who was the heroine, has had a lot of trouble in her days. And every time she got into serious trouble, she went back to what her mother told her. And that was the theme that I carried through the story. It's Katie's first few years when she comes back home. It is what my youth was like, because we had no televisions, no radio, no nothing. We had to make our own enjoyment. And so the little books where I played, and that part is my life. A lot of people have brought in their books that they got, and that was the first printing that we did, to have me sign them. One woman, we had a signing in Annapolis Royal a couple of weeks ago, and she had bought one in Greenwood. And came down to Annapolis Royal to get me to sign it. And now I'm writing the sequel, and it took me a while to get back into the rhythm of things. And, you sort of, as they say, if you don't use it, you lose it. And so that's what I did with when I stopped writing. So it took me a while to get, and the last part of my book is a lot better than the first part. Well, it's going to be called Love is Forever. And it's going to be, I'm hoping to get it done sometime in January. I'm pretty well to the end of it now. But I'm just getting where Mark goes to war. And that will take a while to get. He's just saying goodbye now.
Nancy.
So, yeah, what an amazing
92 years
woman. Yeah,
young.
absolutely. You would never know it. And you're going to want to read the whole thing because the last part of the book is better than the beginning of the book. So cover to cover. But I'm very impressed. Yeah, she certainly doesn't look her age either.
No.
Well, yeah, just an amazing woman.
And serious focus to, see a whole novel through.
And writing everything longhand. I can't even imagine how long that must take.
Perfect pen.
Oh, yeah, you see the way she writes? Just, beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.